Let me guess. You're learning English, but you're frustrated because you can't make any progress, right? I know how frustrating it is, and that's why today I'm going to help you get over the things that you think are frustrating and start making progress again. Let's get cracking. Alright mate, how's it going today? I'm pretty good, thanks for asking. If you're new around here, my name is Dan and I'm here to help you stop being an English student and start being an English speaker. I want to remind you that there's a free downloadable cheat sheet that you can get right now using the link in the description. It's got all the important stuff from this video and you can use it to review and make sure you remember this stuff for longer. Right then, the first thing that we should talk about in this video is vocabulary. This is so frustrating for students. Why? Because there's so much. Like there's thousands and thousands and thousands of words in English. How am I supposed to learn all of them words? I don't know what to do. I'm frustrated. Now, I understand where you're coming from, but you're looking at this the wrong way. Even as a teacher and a native speaker, I don't know all the words in the English language. I'm not bothered about that. What I am bothered about is learning the words that make the biggest difference to my life. And that's what you should be focusing on. Now, let's imagine that you want to be a doctor. All right, cool. You better learn a lot of medical English. You're going to need those words for your job, right? But if your dream is to become a professional bowler, you love 10-pin bowling and you want to become a professional bowler, you're not going to spend time learning this medical vocabulary. That's not going to help you. So don't do that. Learn words about bowling. You should learn these words. These are important for you. And it doesn't matter what your goal or interest is. Maybe you want to improve your English for work. Maybe it's for study. Maybe it's for fun. Maybe it's for communication. Whatever it is, pick something that you are interested in. Pick a section of the world that you like and learn those words. They're the ones that you're going to use the most. They're the ones that are going to make the biggest difference. And don't worry about all them other words. We can learn them later. But for now, focus on these ones and you'll find that you're not frustrated with vocabulary anymore. Another thing I hear from my students all the time is that they feel that their sentences are not good enough. They're too basic, or they're too short, or they're too repetitive. And that can be really frustrating because you've got advanced ideas in here, but you can't express them, and that's frustrating, right? Here's one tip that you can use to start making better sentences, right? What I want you to do is every day think of a sentence, any sentence. Today is a clear day, right? So now we've got this sentence and I want you to try and think of as many different ways as you can to express this same idea. Today is a clear day. Okay, so what does that mean? There's no clouds in the sky. The sky is blue. It's a nice autumn day. It's quite warm. These are all similar expressions, right? We can also use the opposite. It's not cloudy. It's not like winter. It's not a cold day. Just there we've got like 10 different ways to express the same idea. Now you can then add in idioms, you can add in phrasal verbs, you can add in reasons, examples. We can add all of that stuff to make sentences more complex and give you a bigger variety of ways to express yourself. At first, it's going to be quite difficult, but if you do this enough, you're going to find that you can express the same idea in 10, 15, 20 different ways. And when your brain starts to your brain gets its head around that idea, when your brain starts to understand this idea, you're going to find it much easier to express yourselves in different ways. That's good. It's not frustrating. Start doing it today. Now, before we get on to the next one, I've got a little bit of a request for you. If you're enjoying this video, great, tell me. Smash that thumbs up button. That'll tell me that you're enjoying this video, but it'll also tell YouTube, hey, YouTube, I'm really enjoying this video. Maybe other people will also enjoy it, so please show it to them too. That'll make me proper happy because it'll make my channel grow and it'll help other people find this video, and everyone's a winner. You learn something, my channel grows a little bit, somebody else finds this video and learns something. It's a win-win-win situation. So please just take 1 second, smash that thumbs up button and make my day. Another proper frustrating thing about learning English is comprehension. Now, if you don't know what this word means, it's a fancy English teacher word that means understanding. Like, a lot of students feel like they can't understand native speakers. They spend a lot of time with the textbooks or with their teacher or with the other students in their class, and they understand all that stuff. That's fine. But then, you know, they turn on Netflix and they don't understand. Or they listen to a podcast and they don't understand. Or they speak to native speakers and they don't understand. That's so frustrating. I'm making all this progress in my class, but in the real world, I can't do it. It's like anything. Imagine you want to learn, I don't know, piano, right? You can't just learn piano in a textbook. You've got to build the routine. You've got to practice a lot. And the same is true with understanding native speakers. How can you understand native speakers if you never practice trying to understand native speakers? That's never gonna work. So what I want you to do is go and find some native speakers or native material. Now, I know that sounds crazy. I'm frustrated because I can't understand native materials. Have you considered trying native materials? I know it sounds crazy, but going back to the piano thing, at first you can't play piano. And then you sit down and you're like, ding, 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 ding. And it's basically terrible. But you do that every single day. In 2 years, you can probably play piano much better than ding, 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 right? And the same is true with listening. When you first start, you know, listening to native speakers, it's going to be proper hard. But if you do it every day for 2 years, it's going to be way, way easier than it is now. So go onto the internet, to the Google, go to Google and search for a podcast, search for a YouTube video, search for a book, an audio book find something that is recorded by native speakers that's designed for native speakers, right? Find something and use it, listen to it, watch it. It doesn't matter if you don't really understand what's happening, because today you might not understand, and probably tomorrow you might not understand. But in a year, you're probably going to have a much better understanding than you have today, and we're trying to build that goal and build that consistency in our English skill. So start today. Don't worry about how much you understand. Just try and understand a little bit more each time, and eventually you'll be able to comprehend native speakers with no trouble. Oh, and by the way, I also have a podcast, if you didn't know. Link is in the description. Check it out. I'm sure it'll help you understand native speakers. Another thing that people find proper frustrating in English is they can't speak. Like, they understand pretty well, and in their native language they can express themselves really easily, but when it comes to English, not much happens, and that's proper frustrating. I understand. I've been there in Japanese. I felt the same way. Like, I've got all these cool ideas in my head, but when it's time to talk, I can speak for, 10 to 15 seconds, and then game over. That's it, finished. I've got nothing more to offer. Or another common thing that I see all the time is that somebody will speak for 10 seconds, then they have to pause for 10 seconds while they think about the next thing that they're going to say, right? Now, as a listener, I'm always a bit like, whoa, what's going on? Why have you just stopped talking for 10 seconds in the middle of your sentence? Do you want me to talk? Is there a problem? Like, what's going on? So we need to try and avoid those long pauses and extend the amount of time we can speak about something. The first thing that you need to do is you need to learn to organize your ideas before you try and speak, right? Instead of like talking about a part of it, then thinking, and talking about a part of it and thinking, try to stop doing that. Before you speak, take a few seconds to organize your thoughts. I want you to think about 5W, 1H. You know, who, what, why, where, when, how. 5W, 1H. Use this to organize your ideas. You know, what is it? Who is it? Why is it? But organize your ideas using these points, so then we can kind of piece everything together to make a longer, well thought out point. We can even extend it further by adding reasons or examples for what we're trying to express. And by doing this, we can go from he goes to the gym, we can end up with this is Mike, he goes to the gym every day near his house because he wants to stay in shape because he got fat in the pandemic. You know, we can extend our ideas this way using these ideas. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but if you start today and start practicing extending everything you want to say, you'll thank me later. Now, probably the thing that frustrates the most people about learning English is that they have no one to practice with, especially speaking. Like, they can read their textbook and they can watch a YouTube video, but they can't actually practice the output part. And that is really frustrating. English is more than textbooks. You know, you need to practice communication. And when you've got nobody around you that can speak English that you can practice with, that's gonna be pretty frustrating. Now, I actually made a full video all about this stuff, how you can practice speaking on your own. It's up here. I think, you know, there's a link somewhere there. Click it. But basically, the thing you've got to start doing is practicing, even if you're on your own. There are a few ways you can do this. Watch this video for more details. But, you know, you could try shadowing. You could try joining an online conversation group, or recording yourself talking on your phone about your day, or, you know, there's 100 different ways that you can practice speaking on your own, but you've got to do something. If everything else fails, talk to yourself in the shower. Have a conversation with yourself. There's always somebody around that you can speak with, and I promise you, even if you're speaking to yourself in the shower, you're going to improve those skills, and you're going to find that your English and your communication skills get better. I'm going to give myself a little cheeky plug here. Recently, I started Patreon. I don't really talk about Patreon on the channel too much, but if you join, you can get access to things like weekly shadowing materials that you can use to practice. You can also join the Discord, where we've got a voice channel where people can get together and practice speaking on there. We also have monthly live stream lessons where people get together and we focus on speaking in English. If you're interested in any of that stuff, check the link in the description and join today, and I'll see you in there and we'll practice some speaking together. Another thing that I suggest you start doing right now is start thinking in English. If you can do this, everything gets 100 times easier. And if you can't do this, it's going to be pretty frustrating because your progress is going to be very slow. Sounds good, but how do you actually start thinking in English? Well, check out this video over here to learn all about it.